Well, well, well. Fancy seeing you here, you weekend warriors. You filthy animals. It's 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so you know what that means. That means that from coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, we're live, baby. Go ahead and Spartan kick that like button. Do it for me. Do it for me. Let the good people at YouTube know that we're live. We're going to do some chatting tonight. We're going to check out the Only Spartans Discord. Shout out to the Only Spartans. Thank you guys for submitting all your pocket checks. Shout out to everyone who's been staying up with the channel. I feel a little bad. And I feel bad because my upload schedule has tanked. I still have not figured out my time management issues. And so I've been averaging like 1 to 2 videos per week. It's been bad. It's been bad. But I'm almost done with all of my knife reviews. I've got like one knife review. Oh, it's in my pocket. I'm gonna put this away. I got one knife review to do, and then I've got another one for a set of scales for a Hogue Deca, which is pretty sick. And then I should be good. I think I should be all caught up. I'm forgetting something. I know I'm forgetting something. But guys, welcome in. Hope your weekend is fantastic. Let me know what you're carrying today. And if you're in the Discord, just let me know there. Pop a photo in the Discord. It doesn't have to be the most beautiful thing ever. So many people have been mentioning how awesome the live stream pocket check photos are. And I got to say, they put me to shame because I look at some of those. I'm like, man, I just pull out my phone and ooh, bathroom shot. How about that bathroom counter? If you want to know what I carried today, carried this guy. This is the microtech stitch with the Lex Custom International scales. You know, every time I talk about the microtech stitch, I always get people that will pop up. They'll pop up and they'll say things like, you could never EDC that. It's like, you must not know me very well, because I would absolutely EDC that. And in fact, I do. I mean, it's not an everyday thing, but I do like carrying this knife. I'm not afraid of a little weight in the pocket. You know, like, look, it's nice because on one hand, the blade itself is not super big. The cutting edge on here it's like what, 3 inches? Yeah, 3 inches. But you have all of this handle scale, and the ram lock is great. I actually really do like the ram lock. A lot of people do not like heavy knives because they're like, well, I mean, it's gonna weigh down my pants. Get a belt, tighten it up a notch, take it over. There's something that's nice about carrying a big knife. Speak softly and carry a big knife. Guys, we're going to say hi to the good people in the chat. Starting off with Ground Fog. What's up, Ground Fog? Welcome into Cat Scratch, Marco, YouTube Music Portal, Henry G, Doc Duck. We've got Top Dog in the house. He says, stand by, boys and girls. Yeah, I've got a waiting stream. I like to let people load in, it's less awkward that way. That way, when I start the show, people are actually here. It is awkward talking to a room of nobody that no one's there yet. Like, that's why it's nice having a waiting room. 5-minute window, 10-minute window. I think that's fine. Good to see you, Top Dog. Welcome in. Welcome in to Lodestar Talboy. What's up? He says, as usual, original comments have disappeared, making it look like someone else was first. Yeah, I don't know. I think it depends on how early you submit the comment, or if you submit it as a comment or as a chat. I don't know. It's beyond me. The wide world of YouTube is a strange and somewhat dangerous place. Henry G says, I've been noticing that in a lot of live streams. Interesting. I mean, I don't know what the big deal with being first is. I don't know. You'll have to let me know. Top Dog says, YouTube deleted a comment I made on a short today for no reason. No links, no bad words, just bam. You do not get comment today, dog. Sometimes it has to do with how that content is set up. So for example, I have it set up on my YouTube videos where the top comment is listed first, not the most recent. And I do that because sometimes people say some really awesome things or they have some really good insights. And I want those comments to be first, right? But also, if I get a hater in there and the hater just happens to be watching, you know, one of my videos from 3 years ago today, I don't want their negative comment to be the first one I see. Like, I just... I was talking with Knife Dope earlier today, and we were talking about, you know, the haters, and I told him, I said, you only get haters as a result of doing the right things. If you don't have content worth hating, then you don't have content worth posting. So all the best channels, all the most successful channels have a swath of haters. And this was apparent to me the other day. I don't know if anybody in here watches Erica's EDC. Erica's EDC has been doing this for a while. One of her most recent videos, she was talking about how there's this underground war between like the preppers and the outdoors people and, you know, all of these different sections of the community. I'm over here like, there's a war? Huh? It's like, no wonder. What do you want to bet? The benchmade guys are like their own little group of people. Yeah. Benchmade people. I know we got some benchmade people in the chat. Is there an underground war? Who's winning? What side should I join? Anyways. And I didn't believe her at first when she said that. She's like, there's an underground war and I'm trying to squash the war. I'm like, what war? And then I look in her comment section and half of her comments were just people trolling. I was like, ugh. I almost feel bad for those people. You know, like how much free time do you have? I work a full-time job. I have a side hustle. I have a family. I've got the channel. I don't got time to sit there and troll other channels as part of a war. Listen, guys, if you didn't know, it's okay. Nobody has to agree with me. The best conversations are had when we disagree. I could have an opinion on something. I could say the Quiet Carry 9 is the most amazing knife ever for the money, and everything after that is just a bunch of diminishing returns, right? I could say that. And you could have that knife and say, you know what? I just don't like it. That's fine. It's not until we open ourselves up to actually hearing other people with differing opinions that we learn more about why we like what we like, why we think what we think. And sometimes you listen to somebody else and you learn a whole lot. There have been times where, you know, I wouldn't know unless I disagreed. So that commentary is important. But the haters, the trolls, sometimes the trolls just see a video and they're like, I know what I can say about that title. That thumbnail is going down. You know what? Troll my comment section. Go to my videos. Say I've got weird hands. Say I've got a nose hair sticking out. Be creative. Be creative. Like I was looking at some of her comments and it just blew me away. It's like, how many people have this much free time where they just go to a video just to troll that person? And at first I felt a little bad. And then I was like, you know what? If she didn't have a channel worth commenting on, she wouldn't have haters. And so in that regard, we should probably just give her a round of applause. You know, that's a sign of success. There I go, spilling the tea. That's what I've been up to lately. I've been trying to get back into watching other channels and really getting a feel for the other creators in the community, because no man is an island. And I like seeing what everyone else is up to. Top Dog says, I spent hours today catching up on every knife short I had missed from the last month. Casey from Knives Fast posts a lot of shorts. I've been thinking about doing more shorts. I have been thinking about doing more shorts. YouTube has a feature now where you can actually link long form content inside a short. So for example, I could make a short talking about something and then link it to a relevant long form video. In the past, I've stayed away from, I stopped doing YouTube shorts for a while because, for one thing, the people that watched them just didn't translate over to the regular content, which was my main focus. But But YouTube has seen a lot of creators that felt that way, and they've been making amends. They've been making changes. I might have to start doing some YouTube shorts. We'll see. I mean, at least I could get more content out there, right? Just a little bit. Paul Mills, welcome in, man. Good to see you. Let's get back to saying hi to people. Let's do it. Lone Star says, why is his wallpaper all fixed blades, but only folders are ever shown? Hey, I've done some fixed blades. The last fixed blade I reviewed was the T. Kell and Melissa Backwoods Worn EDC. Fantastic little fixed blade too. I like it. I wish that the handle scale was just a little bit longer. I know they actually did release, like, what did they call it? What did they call it? It was a certain type of handles, like the Scorpio scales or something. But the version that I got had either the retention ring, which, like, for my hands is still like, I want to do the karambit flip because I fidget like that. But I popped myself in the pinky a couple times. I was like, nope, handle scale still too short. And then the short grip, which was totally fine. I've done a BPS fixed blade. I've done the Axial Alpine V2. Like, fixed blades are not my bag per se. Like, I'm definitely more of a folding knife guy. That doesn't mean that I haven't done fixed blade content. I have. It's just like a very tiny percentage. Anyways. All right. I lost the chat. I'm going to have to scroll all the way up. Hey, shout out to Mr. Henry G for the $2 super. Says burden. Burden? Are you saying that I look like the rapper Burden? Is that what this is? All right. You know what? We'll let the people decide. We can make fun of me. That's okay. All right. We'll do a Google image search and I'll pull it up. Rapper Burden. I like, this guy has ink. I don't have any tattoos. Like, all right. 3, 2, 1, boom. Are we talking about Burden the rapper? I don't know, man. Hold on. Is there a likeness there? You tell me. I don't think so. He can probably also grow facial hair better than me. Oh, man. The chat skipped. I missed a lot of people. Guys, we're going to say hi to people just as we go through the live stream. Welcome into Carlos. Welcome into C. Kobe. Welcome into Ed B. Says, give me an R, give me an O, give me an L, give me another L, give me an S. Wait. Okay. Says, oh, what's that spell? Poop. Really, Ed? Really? It's probably because I don't like raisins. Welcome into Gas Station Knives. Good to see you, man. He says, have too many knives, still want new NAF? Yes. Listen, if you're in this live stream, chances are you have a problem. The good news is I also have a problem, so at least we can be, we can be friends. Is this a live stream or a support group? What's up, Greg? Good to see you, man. Lone Star says, the goalpost is moved again. I have to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning to wait some more. For what? For what? All right. Here we are. Guys, it's water. I only drink water during the live streams. I know some people think, what's in the mug? It's water. Water is what's in the mug. Hey, welcome into Revolving Blades. What's up, man? Jim Miller in the house. Jim. What's up, Jim? Good to see you, man. Welcome into Blue Minotti Ninja. Blue. Man. Channel mods popping out of the woodworks tonight. Good to see you, fellas. Welcome into Stonewall. Welcome into David V again. I think I already said hi. I'm just catching up with everyone at least twice now. Fresh, what's up? He says, if you don't got haters, work harder. 100%. 100%. If you don't have haters, you're not doing it right. Nick T, what's up, dude? Ed B says, Erica said TRM was sus. It's a differing opinion, man. It's a differing opinion. You've said meaner things about Spyderco. We could disagree and still be friends. Like, that's the best part of this community, is that the people that know. You don't have to always agree with everybody. Lone Star says, if I make an accidental butt dial, is it considered a booty call? Dad jokes. We got dad jokes. Fresh says, I will openly hate on the butterfly without a care in the world. I mean, I throw plenty of shade at benchmade. I do. I mean, I think benchmade is kind of like the Apple of the world. Does that make the bug out like the iPhone? I don't know. Then again, when I say that, I also kind of feel like I just accidentally dissed all the Apple lovers out there, because at least iPhones are quality made. I take it back. As far as brand imagery is concerned. That's what I mean. What's up, Retro Ryan? Good to see you, dude. Gas Station Knife says, sometimes I think if you asked AI for a mashup of Gordon Levitt and Jack Alcott, you might get Rollshambo. That's the one where if I search the comments, just like on all of my content, which I can do, if I type in Joseph Gordon-Levitt, you know what? Instead of just telling you, why don't I show you? Hold on. I'm going to see if it lets me pull it up. All right. The amount of people who say that I look like Joseph Gordon-Levitt is kind of funny. All right, YouTube Studio. We'll go to the community. All right. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Oh, you know what? I've just got to do all. Yeah, there we go. Levitt. What? Doesn't let me search for that anymore? It used to let me search my comment section on a widespread scale for all of my comments, and now it doesn't do that anymore. That's a shame. Anyways, the comparison has been made that apparently I look like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And for those of you who don't know who that is, I don't see it. I'll let you guys decide. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Trying to make a Joseph Gordon-Levitt face. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I don't see it. I'm sure you guys will let me know if you see it. I don't see it. Fresh says the catch is greater than the 9. Listen, I hate it when people say that a knife, and I'm saying this because I want to respond with, no, that's not true. But the truth is that I haven't held a quiet carry catch. So it wouldn't be fair of me to say, the 9 is better than the catch because I haven't tried a catch. And I hate it when other people are like, well, you're wrong about this other knife. That can't be true, like in this comparison. You can only make that comparison if you've tried both. And I'm guessing that you may have. I haven't, so I can't say. All I know is the Quiet Carry 9 is one of the best knives, best production knives, period, quality-wise, that I've experienced. And so, I mean, is the catch as good? Maybe. Let's check it out. Personally, it's not my thing. The quiet carry catch is not my thing. It's a smaller knife, and they're readily available. These are $380. Ugh. So it's basically a 7-inch knife, which by itself I don't necessarily have a problem with. But let's dive into it. We got some knurling here. Let's see if it'll let me zoom all the way in. We got some beautiful knurling here. At least I think that's knurling. Single-sided captive pivot. What looks like, I don't know if those are contoured scales or if they're just chamfered. Low, this I would call this a modified sheep's foot. Thumb stud only. Okay. Now, it's supposed to be super comfy in the hand. Hey, blade type modified. Called it. Cage ceramic bearing, 3 ounces. Frame lock. Okay. So the Quiet Carry 9 is a bit bigger. It's got a more traditional style blade shape. It's less expensive. You get carbon fiber and titanium. Carbon fiber is actually the most impressive handle scale material out there. I started doing research for a video where I was going to talk about the different handle scale materials and, you know, their different properties, what makes them impressive. Is it their strength, their shear strength, their specific strength? These are all like scientific measurement terms when you're talking about strength. You know, if there's any physicists out there or scientific people out there, you probably know what I'm talking about. I am just a plebe who looks stuff up on the internet and likes to think that he actually understood what he read. I can tell you from experience, sometimes I read something and understand it completely the wrong way. But I will tell you this, that video never got made because every time I tried to record it, it was boring. I did learn a lot though. Did you know that specifically the composite carbon fiber is extremely strong? Like the specific strength of composite carbon fiber, and I mean, when I say composite, I mean your camo carbon fiber, I mean your fat carbon fiber. That carbon fiber is so much stronger and more lightweight and more impressive than titanium is. It's incredible. Yeah, carbon fiber absolutely crushes everything else as far as its strength to weight ratio as well. It doesn't rust. It doesn't scratch super easily. Like I've got this guy right here. This is my Devo tall boy in the purple nurple, the purple flow carbon fiber from Camo Carbon. Like this thing gets lots of carry time. I don't see any scratches on here. So my point is that when I'm thinking about the value proposition from a material standpoint, I love seeing carbon fiber and titanium because you get the best of both worlds. You get a nice light and heavier mix. Carbon fiber is just really impressive material. Anyways, for me, I don't know, man. I don't know. I haven't experienced the catch. So I'll say this. I like the 9's blade shape better. I like its material composition better because it includes carbon fiber. I like the size of the 9 better. You know, this one is 7 inches. I believe the 9 is just under 8 overall. Let's see. I wonder why they don't have the 9 listed as ocean environments, because it should be pretty damn corrosion resistant. The 9. Here it is, the 9. And they started doing some cool ones too. 360. Maybe they just raised the prices. The 9 is, in my opinion, as close to a perfect production knife as you can get. And it is... okay, it's about 7.5, just over 7.5 inches. I have one, I could just measure it. I'm not doing that on the live. I'm just looking at the specs. So it's a bit bigger, it's a bit longer, which means that you've got more real estate for your hands. It's a more traditional blade, so it's a clip point with a big belly right there, which means that if you're actually using that to like gut a fish or, you know, to clean your catch, you could do that. And you want that belly in the blade because it makes it easier to cut along a seam without poking holes in whatever you're trying to, take the skin / scales off of. And it's a full flat grind, so it's extremely slicey and it stays thin behind the edge for a while, but the factory edge is great. This little spot right here reminds me of the same finger cutout that you see on Chris Reeve knives. I don't know why, but it does. And it has really good ergonomics. The Quiet Carry 9 is easily one of my favorite knives. That said, I look at the catch. I haven't experienced it, but I bought this knife twice in 2 years. So that should tell you how I feel. Anyways. Gas Station Knife says, you shaved your beard. What? Doc, I don't grow facial hair, guys. We've been over this. All right. David V says, I don't like Benchmade's business practices, but I also own 5 of them. Most importantly, no one pays your bills but you. Buy what you like. Buy what you like. Bluetooth Blades. What's up, man? Good to see you. All right. David V says, I stumble on a lot of channels, not really knife content, but they do only shorts. Yeah. Some channels are specific to short form content, and that's totally fine. The thing that gets me is when people use shorts to boost their channel's subscribership, but the people they want, but what they really want is they want performance on their regular long form horizontal style videos. But then they put so much effort into shorts, hoping that it pays off and those people come over to their other content. I speak from experience when I say this. It's a very low conversion rate because the people, like, think about it. You're scrolling your TikTok, you're scrolling the Instagram reels, you're scrolling the YouTube shorts. And what do? You watch a video, haha, like, oh, that one was cool, subscribe. Next. The attention span is ridiculously short. And so when you're hoping that person's like, you know what? Subscribe. I'm going to go over, watch every single, you don't see that. It happens, but it's not often. That conversion rate is low. I did enough shorts to figure that out. And I had one short that did really well. I want to say it got like a couple 100,000 views, like 300,000 views, something like that. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. It's been a while. And you know what? It did not convert many people over to my regular content. And that's when I really had to look at it and say, what am I trying to achieve here? What content do I want people to actually watch? Do I want them to watch my short form content? Because I can do that. I can make short form content, or is the kind of content I want to make the regular horizontal long form style content? I think it's different for bigger channels, but that's just my opinion. Oh my goodness. I am so far behind on the chat. Hey, shout out to Bluetooth Blades for the $2 super. He says, Rollo, have you tried an LCT? No. It's been on my list for a while. It's on my list. I will try one eventually. I want to buy a brand new one. That's the thing. I want to buy a brand new one. I've had a couple people offer to sell me theirs. The timing has just not been right. I'm working on a very limited budget for how much I can spend on channel stuff every month. And I won't lie, I've been getting distracted by some really, really cool knives like this, and for those collectors out there, when you have a chance to buy an SPK Lumia, you have to take it because you just don't get those opportunities very often. But the problem is that you get one of these and then all of a sudden everything else on your list just got shut down for that month. But who knows? I turned 35 in August. Who knows? Maybe that'll happen. Thanks for the $2 super blue. I definitely appreciate you, man. Paul says, never had a quiet carry yet, but they make a few models I wouldn't mind trying out. Yeah. I've only tried the 9. I'm going to be honest about that. I've only tried the 9. The one that I'm most interested in right now that I don't already own is the LCT. LCT stands for large contoured titanium because they came out with a drift and then they came out with the drift LC. Excuse me, the drift, was it the LT? think it was the Drift LT, which is like the titanium version with thumb studs. And then they came out with this guy, the Drift LCT, which is the large contoured titanium. That's what it stands for. And right now, they've got all three versions in. But the thing is that none of these are inexpensive. These are all, like the lowest one is $380, right? If you just get a regular raw, which by the way, that would be my preference, is this guy right here, the raw. But they do have the Anchor Gray, which is kind of like a dark wash. And then they've got the black, which I don't know why. I'd be willing to bet that's their least popular combination. I bet you that people buy the Anchor Gray and the raw titanium or stone wash the most. But on this, you get contoured, 3D milled, knurled titanium handle scales. Look at that deep groove right there. Instead of a thumb stud that you get on the regular drift, you get a deployment hole, which honestly, don't get me wrong, good thumb studs. Like my 9 has a good thumb stud. I like it. There are a lot of benefits to having a deployment hole. One of the benefits is you have nothing in the path of the blade when you go to sharpen it, so you're not going to run into that thumb stud. The second is that thumb studs are not an integral part of the blade. They have to be press fit. They have to be screwed in, so on and so forth. This is just something that's cut out of the blade. So it's just a cleaner design with a deployment hole. And I think it's more comfortable to deploy to. You know, thumb studs can, like, most companies know how to do a thumb stud right. But I still run into companies who for some reason think that we want smooth barrels for thumb studs. Looking at you, McNeese. Freaking McNeese with their smooth barreled thumb studs. Come on. Somebody tell Jonathan McNeese that nobody likes smooth barreled thumb studs because they hurt after a while. You don't get a good grip. Your thumb slides off and then it's just pain. But you don't get that with the deployment hole, is all I'm saying. Cat Scratch says carbon fiber chip much easier than tie. That's a fair point. I haven't had any carbon fiber chip on me yet, though. I really haven't. I am so far behind in the chat, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to catch up without skipping too much. Sierra Rick, what's up, man? He says, for me, it's the drift. I love Van X still as well because I like spending time in the Eastern Sierra. Fair enough. Welcome into Fred the Lug. He says, I wish they did multiple deployments. I mean, I would say that they're very function forward over there at Quiet Carry. You know, if you read their company ethos, they're all about like the ocean environments and EDC, you know, like, but even their EDC is super ocean environments. Like, for example, let's go back to the 9 real quick. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So the Quiet Carry 9 is not listed as one of their ocean environment knives. And yet it uses the most corrosion resistant steel possible. It uses Van X Super Clean. At least I think is Van X more? I think Van X is more corrosion resistant than LC200N. I might have to check that later. I'm pretty sure that it is. It uses titanium, can't rust, or at least it doesn't rust, and titanium doesn't really rust. Carbon fiber doesn't really rust. On the lock bar, what do they use for the lock bar insert? Oh, maybe this is the difference. It's the 416 stainless. You know, it's not a super corrosion resistant, I guess. But that's my point. Like, this is definitely a knife that you could use in ocean environments, not really have to worry about the rust. Is it a dive knife? I don't know. I don't go diving. Somebody tell me. Top Dog says, are you sure Lefty didn't super glue the pivot? Oh man, I love giving Lefty EDC a hard time about the fact that he super glues pivots. No pivot is safe at Kev's house. Top Dog says, you know why I love Rollshambo lives? After it gets going, Rolls just ignores the live and you can say anything. Wow. I'm just lost. I'm behind the times on the chat, Top Dog. It's all the tangents I go off on. Bluetooth says, the Quiet Carry Drift LCT is built like a tank, so tightly built. Yeah, no, their tolerances are great. They're really, really good. All right. I'm never going to catch up. Hey, shout out to KR Knives Review. Welcome to the channel membership, guys. This is a good time to mention channel members can get into the Only Spartans Discord, which we're going to check out here very shortly. The Only Spartans Discord is where we do things like live stream pocket checks, but also daily pocket checks. We have the knife yard sale, which in order to list there, you do need to be a member of the Discord for at least 30 days. That doesn't mean you have to be a channel member for 30 days. Although, I mean, memberships are generally last, a month at least. The channel community is on the Discord. How do you get there? New channel members, go to my community page on YouTube, scroll down, you'll see a couple members only posts that only channel members can see. One of them, at least one of them, will be a invite link to Discord. That's how you get in. All right. Welcome in, man. Thanks for joining. Ed B says, Roll has dainty fingers. It's these soft computer hands, man. What's up, Mick Ranger? Good to see you. What's up? Welcome into Mikey Trails. Ed B says, no doubt you can call him a total deuce bag and he's not likely to see it. Yeah, just right over the top. Right over the top. Fresh says, bought an Orca 2.0 last month and that sumbitch made me sell my Imamba. Really? You sold your Imamba over a Poi Kilo? Did you get because I know Poi Kilo does their mid-tech line. I don't really know anything about it. People keep bringing up this brand and I don't know enough about them to say either way. I personally, I feel like you got to hang on to your Imamba though. I mean, it sounds like you already sold it. I don't know if I would have done the same thing. Just don't have regrets. All right. We're off topic. Let's go ahead and check out the Only Spartans Discord. Boom. We're going to go over to the pocket check for the live stream. All right. Scroll down to today. All right. Before we get going, I need to hydrate. Bluetooth Blade says the Drift LCT lock bar insert is LC200N. Yeah. But that's my point though, is like if the difference between their ocean environment knives and their EDC knives is the difference between the lock bar insert, like the 9 uses 416 stainless steel lock bar insert. It's still a stainless lock bar insert. I think it's funny. Even their EDC knives are super corrosion resistant. All right. Fresh says Orca 2.0 Arno Bernard. Wait, before we get into the pocket check, Arno Bernard also makes a knife called the Orca? Because when people say Orca, I think of the Poi Kilo knives. But that actually makes more sense. Really? I mean, the Orca kind of looks like an Imamba though. Doesn't it? See, because when you said Orca, I thought Poi Kilo, because Poi Kilo also makes a knife called the Orca. I thought you were talking about this guy. And I was like, I'm not sure if I would sell my Imamba to get a Poi Kilo. But now that actually makes more sense. You went from, you sold an Arno Bernard to get an Arno Bernard. Okay, that makes more sense. This is just how far behind the times I really am. Look, Metal Complex has already made multiple videos on it. Damn it. This is why I need to get back to watching regular channels. Welcome in, Brown Sugar. What's up? All right. Roman M, what's up, dude? Good to see you. He says the Orca is fire. I didn't even know that they released. I had to come here and make the assumption we were talking about a different brand entirely. Oh man. Fresh says somebody get Roll a Orca 2.0 is made by Arnold Bernard. It's the Pops knife. They sell them on Blade Gallery. What are we saying? Retro Ryan says, I feel like you have to be a good photographer to be a member of the EDC knife community. I can't take a good picture if I had two photographers. I mean, I put very little effort into my pocket check photos because I try to make them realistic. You know, like I'm an everyday kind of guy. You know, I carry knives like everybody else. And sometimes I just don't want to like take my camera with me everywhere I go, you know? So a lot of times it's just like, oh, look at my knife in the bathroom. That's when I decided to take my pocket check photo. In the bathroom. That's okay. You don't have to be a super duper photographer to join the Only Spartans Discord. Just come in, share your carry daily. All right. And it looks like today we are starting off with Nick T. Nick T's got, I'm going to miss on both of those. Damn it. Chat. Your boy's going to miss on that. That's probably like a Riot T5100 or something. I'm not good with the Riot self-branded knives. You know, that's my excuse for everything. Well, I'm just not good with it. I don't really know fixed blades. I know that's not a fixed blade. Stop it. What is this? Why do I not know what that is? Nick, I know you're in the chat. Help me out, dude. And which Riot is that? Not sure. The Ponds, he's got the Allumiware smock, the aluminum crewwear smock in the black titanium nitride coating. Or excuse me, is that titanium carbonitride? I think that's what it is. Titanium carbonitride. I've got that same blade. I like it. A lot of people think that it's DLC, but it's not. It actually looks a lot better than what we get aesthetically from Spyderco's DLC. Vavelsky, he's got the new Tashi Baruka Krypton, and then of course is that he's got a North Mountain Blades. That's the chop, right? Yeah, that's the chop. I don't think that's the kickstop chop. I could be wrong though, because that Tashi Baruka Krypton is a kickstop. And then of course a Peachy G9, solid carry. I love all three of those. I really do. Like this is what I'm talking about, guys. Like obvious cell phone photo out in my yard next to the grill. I was making lunch. Like I take better photos with my actual camera, but when I'm doing something like a pocket check, like, yeah, this is what's in my pocket. Boom. See? Feel enabled. You don't have to be an amazing photographer. I mean, we like it if you are, but you don't have to be. Ooh, Dazed. He's got a Utzler duck. That's nice. That's very nice. At least I think that's the duck. I think the duckling is the liner lock, right? Right? I think so. Pretty sure that's a duck. Gas station knives. He's got, that's the Proponent. Yeah. The Artisan Cutlery Proponent. Big chunky boy. That's going to be the, I know the designer. I know the designer. What does that sign say? It says, I'm not going to cry over it. I did that in the car on the way. Michael Scott. Very nice. Ed's got the Civivi Vision FG. Nice shot. I like the water in the background. That's a really beautiful picture. All that green. The overcast skies make for great photos. I like it. I like how the knife is just kind of the afterthought. And you're just like, I'm going to take a picture of this stream. And oh yeah, I guess my knife's in there. We'll post it in the pocket check. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Bluetooth blades he's got a Rat 2. He's got the Kubi Titanium Titius. He's got the Mingana Steel Kaimano, and then the new Combat Troodon. My phone tried to take voice commands. Bad phone. Just in the middle of a live stream. Phone. Warrior Guild. What is that? What is that? That's the new Kubi. Kubi posted that on their Instagram like yesterday. Which Kubi is that? All right. Is that the misdemeanor? I always get Jared's knife models mixed up. I know he's got the offender. That's not the offender. I know he's got the misdemeanor. I know he's got, what's the other one called? Is that a misdemeanor? I have failed. Cat Scratch says the duck is pretty. Yeah, I like it. Top Dog says, boys and girls, please smash that like button. Please and thank you. Spartan, kick the like button, guys. I definitely appreciate it. It says, Roll prefers to have his button spooned. Just whisper sweet nothings to the like button until it, lights up. I missed some shout outs. Shout out to David V, who's been a channel member for 8 months. Thank you, David V. And who has upgraded his membership to Spartan. No longer recruit. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it, man. Welcome into Paul Mills, who is, I could have sworn you were already a channel member, Paul. Oh, man. All right. I had to double check because I hate missing things like what's it called? Anniversary shout outs. Fred says he identified which Kubi it was within the post. It's the folklore. Yeah, good call out. The folklore. I like that they did a traditional style jigging. Like that type of jigging was initially found on like wood handle scales and bone handle scales on more old school knives. We'll get into some old school knives after we get through the pocket check. Good call out though, Fred. John Blackman, what's up, dude? Welcome in. It's the inmate. I knew it. The offender, the misdemeanor, and the inmate. I knew I was getting them mixed up. Rollshambo misidentifies knives once again. It's a buck 110. It's time to retire. Jim's got a Kaiser Kobold. He's got the Kaiser Banish. He's got, which fixed blade is it? I know you mentioned it. It's the Kaiser Groom Fixie. Okay. I see what you've done there. Very nice. Thanks for sharing, Jim. Doc Duck, he's got, that's the Hinderer half-track harpoon Spanto. Hinderer's been coming out with some heat lately. I like the half-track. I had a half-track warning, bought it secondhand. I liked it. And then I had an opportunity to get a really cool knife that I really wanted, and I sold my half-track warning very quickly so I could make that happen. Do I miss it? Yes, but also I was willing to do it because the one that I really want is the full track warning, which they've released a few times this year, but this is the first time I've seen the Harpoon Spanto half track. That's really cool. 747's got a couple of quiet carry waypoints. It's got the large and then the regular size. Very nice. Craig Vincent in the dark. Hold on. I need to zoom in so I can. I need to zoom in. Cold Steel FMJ. Spyderco Manix. Manix 2XL. I have lost. I need to be able to read the branding on the blades. I need it. I need it. Greg McCutcheon, he's got. Ooh, nice. Is that a P365? No. Is it? Apparently, I'm also not good at identifying handguns either. Paramilitary 2. Those blue scales make me think that's Spy 27 or no. S110V. I had to get in real close. S110V, very nice. And then the Travax wallet and Olight Baton. I believe that's Baton 3. Nope. Nope, that's Baton 4. Very nice. I've got both the 3 and the 4. There's some slight visual differences. The button's different. On the Baton 4, it has indicator lights that go around the side. It's really, really slick. I like the Baton 4. C. Kobe. Ooh. He's got that's an Olamic. It's not a whippersnapper, is it? Is that a whippersnapper? I don't think so. It is a whippersnapper. Hot damn, I actually got one right. It was bound to happen. It was bound to happen. It's a very well-known knife. I shouldn't take any pride in getting that one right. Fred's got the Zach Perlo multi-pass with crystal, titanium, and Baker's Forge coppermide Damascus. That's a gorgeous blade. Look at that. Now here's the question. Would you consider that to be a Sachs blade or a Wharncliffe? That might actually be closer to a Sachs style blade. Spelled S-E-A-X. Sachs. Although in the UK or in Scotland, they actually pronounce it Sayax. But if you say that, people over here will troll you mercilessly. And I know this because I did. And then they did. TC Blades, he's got the Remet Two-Face. Look at that. Love the Two-Face. Two-Face is one of the best knives that Remet's released all year long. And they've released some good ones. KR Knives joining in the pocket check. He's got, that's a Civivi Praxis and a Mini Praxis. Very nice. Guys, I think I'm all caught up. Did I miss anything? Probably. But we're going to double check just to make sure. I tried to hit everyone's posts. I tried to hit everyone's submissions. I did miss one. I missed Mick Ranger. There we go. Mick Ranger. He's got the Spyderco Shaman with rock scale critter scales. Very nice. Wait, that was from the 23rd. Whew. I did not miss it after all. Hey, that pocket check looks familiar. All right, guys, that is the Only Spartans Discord. If you want to join, consider becoming a channel member. Channel memberships start as little as 99 cents. Practically nothing. For the change you can find in your couch cushions, you too can become a channel member and join the Only Spartans Discord. All right, Sierra Rick says, Rolls USA Made Blades has a Hinder half-track harpoon Spanto available. I saw that. The one that I want is, like, the harpoon Spanto looks amazing, but I want a full track, and I want a full track warning. I'm very specific about that. I want a full track warning. What's up, Leon? Welcome in, man. Fresh says, Spyderco has done work this year, still so many models yet to release. I'm waiting on the Edgerati. I don't think the Edgerati is released yet. Jim says the Folklore is a Derek Sharon design. I'll be honest, I don't know who that is. Says too freaking hot for an outdoor shot. It's understandable. I actually went to the park today. I did some outdoor shots with my actual camera. You know, that's why when I did my pocket check, I just, snagged the photo with my phone because I don't want to work hard on my pocket check. I'll work hard on the shots that I take for the content, with my actual camera. But on a pocket check, you guys you're getting phone content. I don't try super hard on pocket checks. Ed B says more of the same from Spyderco. Not sure I'd say that, but I also am not sure I would disagree with that either. I would say that Spyderco has done a lot with sprint runs this year, which, I mean, I get it. They've made a lot of money doing sprint runs, so makes sense, right? Let's do this. Let's do Spyderco Edgerati. They're in pre-order right? I don't think they're in stock. Pre-order, yeah. 247 S30V. Why? How much S30V do they even have? Short answer, they have all the S30V. I don't like spending over $150 on S30V. I really don't. I really, really don't. But this is not just a new knife for Spyderco. This is a new design, and it's a new Golden USA knife. So this one's actually made in the United States. A lot of their newer stuff is made over in Taiwan, which is totally fine. Their Taiwan factory, quite honestly, has the best fit and finish you can get on a Spyderco knife. But it is cool to see them do more new production out of the Golden, Colorado factory. That's cool. I'm not sure how I feel about the skeletonized aluminum scales, or if I would prefer, some other kinds of scales. I'm really curious to see what scale makers do. I want to see what Rock Scale does. Are we going to get aftermarket scales that are actually completely filled in, or no? Are they going to come out with a non-skeletonized version, or no? I don't know. Earlier I mentioned classic knives. It doesn't get, if we're talking classic knives, we got to talk about the Buck 110. And I saw one the other day that's actually really cool. Some of you guys are probably face palming pretty hard right now. I was like, oh, he's going to talk about a Buck 110. What is this, 1947? This is a cool one though. It's the July Buck of the Month. July 2025 Buck of the Month. So Buck does this cool thing where they come out with like limited exclusives on a monthly basis. I didn't know this. Check this out. Your eyes do not deceive you. That is a Buck 110 in camo carbon fiber. That's America camo carbon fiber and MagnaCut. Yeah. So I've got some upcoming content scheduled for late August with Buck. I'll be transparent with you guys. And whenever I start to collaborate with a new company, especially new American-made companies, and they're like, "Well, let us know if you have any questions." Like when they say that, a lot of times they're just like that's their sign off. Like, oh, as a courtesy, let us know if you need any information. What they're not prepared for is that I come prepared. I come with notes. I come with questions. I'm like, oh, really? You're going to answer my questions? And then I shoot them a list like this because even if I don't use all that information in the content, I still want to know it for my own context because it gives me information that I can or decide not to share with the community when I make that content. So when Buck reached out and they're like, yeah, we'd like, we've got a new knife coming out, blah, yada, yada. Let us know if you have any questions. I hit them back with a questionnaire, and like I gave them my phone number, and they actually called me, and they're like, well, you know, like we figured this would be easier than responding to you on Instagram. We're in the same state, why not? And so I was asking them, I was like, you know, what's your target Rockwell for MagnaCut, because you don't list it on your website. Now, I've asked companies this before, and I've gotten all kinds of responses. Everything from Craig Brown saying that he shoots for 60 to 61, which is like, you know, shooting the floor, to Heretic, who says, you know what, we're just not trying to be a part of that discussion. Know that we do a proper heat treat on our MagnaCut, and other than that, we don't want to advertise what our target is. Fine. But Buck was like, oh, haven't you heard of the Boss heat treat? You know, don't you know that the heat treat is our thing? That we are heat treat freaks? Don't you know that Buck is known for having some of the best edge retention out there based on their heat treat service? You should know this. And I said, you still aren't advertising it. So, Buck doesn't advertise this, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys. Buck shoots for 62 to 64 on their MagnaCut Rockwell, which, in my opinion, is actually the perfect range. To give you some context, Spyderco MagnaCut often tests out at 62, and it has been testing really well with a good edge geometry. So Buck being between 62 to 64 with a cryo treat is actually really good. I'm happy with the Paul Boss heat treat cryo treat process at 62 to 64. I think that's great. And I like that they told me, you know, like they could have pulled a Heretic and been like, we don't want to join that conversation. Shout out to Heretic. But no, they're like, haven't you heard of Paul Boss? Yes, I have. But I have to ask the question, because when companies don't list it, I wonder why. And unlike all the other companies, I think that Buck doesn't list it because they're used to people not questioning their heat treat. That's the difference, right? So anyways, I thought this was super cool. The July 2025 Buck of the Month. It's a Buck 110 in camo carbon fiber and freaking MagnaCut that's been cryo treated. My upcoming collaboration with Buck is not on this knife, though. But don't be surprised if you see this at some point in the near future. Retro Ryan says, hey, Rollshambo, David V noticed the weight on that Buck is insane. Is it? 7.5 ounces. What? Interesting. I mean, a Buck 110, a lot of people don't understand this. Buck 110 owners do, because they have this. This looks like a small knife. This knife has almost a 4-inch blade. It's a 3 3/4 inch blade. Those are nickel silver bolsters. I don't know if that weight is accurate, but you know what? I actually have a Buck 110. Hold on. I'm gonna get the regular Buck 110, and we're gonna weigh it, because I want to know. Like, there's no way that this one, because I'll say this right now, that might be the weight with the sheath. I would believe that if that was the weight with the sheath. I don't know if I believe that it would be 7.5 ounces, just the knife. I've got a regular Buck 110 that shouldn't be any lighter than this one. So let me find out. All right. Now, I don't want anyone giving me any crap. Like, this Buck 110 needs some love. It needs some love. It might just be that there's a little bit of corrosion going on these brass bolsters. This is the Buck 110, right? Not a small knife. This is not a small knife. The pictures always make the Buck 110 look smaller than it is. It's not a small knife. Oh yeah, I forgot that I put my own edge on there. Anyways, this is not my knife. This is my wife's knife. It's in my studio because this is the room that has all of the knives. So this was given to my wife by her dad. And so that's why I haven't done any content with this guy. It's not mine. I did put my own edge on there though. Anyways, let's go ahead and weigh this guy. 7.5 ounces? I don't know. All right. Now I don't have my camera facing down, so you're just gonna have to trust me on this. You know, it's not super scientific. I'm just gonna do this. I mean, I suppose I could take a photo on my phone and post it on the Only Spartans Discord. Is this 7.5 ounces? Because I guarantee you there's no way that this knife would be heavier, or excuse me, lighter than one with carbon fiber. There's no way. Holy cannoli, 7.4 ounces. 7.4 ounces. Wow. I mean, you could call it 7.5. But I want you guys to consider a few things here. For one, we don't know if they actually weighed that knife or if they just went off of the same stock specs they've always gone off for a buck 110. So I'm not entirely sure if that is accurate or not. I don't know. We don't have it yet. The other thing is that this is more of a traditional knife. I'll say it. This is more of a traditional knife. They've been making buck 110s for forever. So there's not a whole lot of weight relief. Obviously they can't do internal milling because they have the pinned inlays. It's a back lock, so there's no open back design, which honestly I'm okay with. The blade is hollow ground and it's nearly 4 inches long. Oh man. So when that comes in, we'll weigh it. I'm still in shock. 7.5 ounces. No freaking way. There you have it, folks. But it's a folding hunting knife. 7.5 ounces. All right, just for giggles, because I want to, what's the estimate on how much my stitch weighs? This is full titanium build. Big boy. How much do you think the stitch weighs? Would you guys believe me if I told you that the buck 110 weighs more than the titanium stitch? That's crazy. The titanium stitch weighs 7.3. This weighs 7.5. We're not going to fat shame the buck 110. We won't do it. We won't do it. Lone Star says, heavy, how much does your phone, keys, wallet, and change weigh? I mean, I don't have a whole lot of change. I spend it all. But now that you mention it, how much does my phone weigh? The phone weighs 10.5 ounces with my case on there. Yeah. Yeah. Retro Ryan says, time for a poll. What are we polling? Mick says, I do always remember my buck 10s being pretty hefty. I don't, you know what? Like, I don't feel like this one is super heavy, but it is. Like, it's 7.5 ounces is what's considered heavy. You know, they say maybe they don't make knives like, you know, they don't make knives like they used to. Maybe that's what they mean. They make them lighter than they used to. We're going to put it away. We're going to put it away. All right. Nick 6 says, my Mojave and S90V is 62.8. Love when these companies test each blade and let you know. Yeah. You know, I should have known though. Like when it comes to the buck knives, I should have known because the Paul Boss heat treat is famous. Like that is what they are known for. They are known for that partnership. They're known for that. They actually do heat treat services for a lot of other knife companies. That should tell you something. Maybe we can get Craig Brown to send his MagnaCut to Buck. Please. Craig, please. Paul Mills says, looking at some buck knives, huh? I have not seen buck knives do a whole lot of like colorful carbon fiber. That's cool. And they only recently, within the last year, ever since they did that collaboration with Laren, they've only recently started doing MagnaCut. Jay Korskin with the $2 super.
This is Sparta!
Says, I like rocks patches. You guys want I like rocks patches and shirts? Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do that. Ed B says, how much does your hat weigh? I mean, do you really want me to take it off so you guys can find out? Fresh says, called 7.3 on the dot. Yeah. 7.3, buck 110, 7.5. Crazy. It's crazy. Lone Star says, give it Joe X treatment. He made a TS Prof sharpening a video without a mask. Interesting. Craig says, of course it does. It was designed in the 60s, and it was designed to do everything from EDC to dispatching bears. Jim says, I wore my 110 clones on my belt. Much better than pockets. Well, I mean, the 110 doesn't have a pocket clip, right? So it kind of makes sense. TC Blades. He says, yo, what's up, guys? Just saying hello before I crash out. Have a good rest of your night. Thanks for dropping by. 2K says, FBI found a hinderer on Epstein Island. Just saying. The indictments. That's an indictment. Oh, man. TC Blade says, I'm making shirts that say jimping ain't easy. I saw someone that had that as their username. It's funny. All right. Anyways, I just thought I'd share this with you guys because I thought it was crazy. I hadn't seen a buck 110 in MagnaCut and camo carbon fiber. I think that that's really cool. They only made 750. So that means, you know, for those of you collectors out there, 750. And, you know, for a classic knife, and yes, you can call this a classic knife, that's using updated materials with a perfected heat treat system, it's probably really good. We'll find out. Just thought I'd share that with you guys. What else is new out there? Ron Dobbins, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Fresh says, man, for $225, made in USA, good heat treat, solid materials, a win in my book. Nice updated take on a classic model. That's what I'm saying. How many American-made knives do you see out there with MagnaCut that's been cryo-treated 62 to 64 with camo carbon fiber, also American product, for $225? Nobody's doing that. TRM isn't doing that. American Blade Works isn't doing that. I mean, actually, I shouldn't say that. They have their slip joint. You could make the argument that the slip joint is still the best, like materials-wise, for the cost. You could still make the argument that the American Blade Works slip joint is still a better materials value. But which one are you trusting your life with? American Blade Works slip joint or buck 110? I don't know of too many American-made knives out there that really, really start that conversation. And when you think about that, that might be the best American-made value right there. on a locking knife, because I know you American Blade Works hippies out there are going to come for me and you're going to be like, no, the slip joint. Can we stop talking about the American Blade Works slip joint? I get it. It's a good knife, good materials, and it's cheap. I don't think there's a better value for the materials and the fit and finish at this price in an American-made locking knife. There. I've covered my bases. Lone Star says, my Hogue Deca in carbon fiber, 62 to 64 for 160. No, man. The Hogue Decas in carbon fiber cost way more than that. And I know because I recently looked at them when I was making my video on this guy, which, oh, wait. Can't show you that. That video is still in production. Hold on. But let's do this. Hogue Deca carbon fiber, because they do not cost 160. I'm sorry, they do not. Blade HQ. Hogue Deca carbon fiber goes for $320. So no. And if we were to go to DLT, Hogue, I know this because I looked at these. I was actually tempted. Hogue Deca carbon fiber. On Blade HQ, it's 320. On DLT, it's 320. If you got yours for 160, you got it on a ridiculous deal. I would love it if Hogue came out with this knife for 160. That would be the steal of the century. But it's $320. Yeah. Did you get it on Black Friday? How'd you get this for 160? Because the Decas you can get for 160 are like the G10. Hogue Deca. Yeah. G10 175. Ugh. The polymer is 140. Maybe, I mean, was it just the steepest price inflation known to mankind? Yeah, no, the Hogue Deca is a great value, but it's not camo carbon fiber buck 110 value. Let's keep it real. All right. He says, I beg to differ, owner of a Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive gold marble carbon fiber Scorpion edition, plus came with a hat. Smoky Mountain Knife Works. SMKW. Deca. Freaking pop-ups. Come on. Deca exclusive. Rattlesnake. Tanto Hogue Deca. $200. You got a really good deal on it, man, then, because here's a G10 exclusive at Smoky Mountain Knife Works for $194. Granted, that's a cool G10. I'm thinking that maybe you got a deal and a half. Like, I believe you when you say that you got it for 160. I'm here to tell you that that is not normal. It's not normal. That is not normal. Deca. Carbon. I just want to see the listing for it. Deca carbon fiber. If I can spell tonight. Come on. Nope. Deca Scorpion. Show me the sold listings. Never. Well, I'll say this. If you got your gold marble carbon fiber Deca for 160 and they gave you a free hat, that is the steal of the century. Because That pricing does not exist on the Deca anymore, which is a bummer. I would love it if it did. Fresh says, Freedom Knife usually has Decas for the low. Freedom Knife? Is it just like freedomknife.com? I've never gone there. Freedom Knife? Freedom Knife Shop. Is this it? Deca. I mean, the pricing looks normal to me. Or maybe I'm just not at the right spot. Is it Freedom Knife Shop or is it another one? I think it's Freedom. I think that's the only one. I'm always interested in finding new retailers. It never hurts to know what's out there. And these look, let's see. I'm pretty sure that is the polymer version. Can we find one with, is that aluminum? Polyamide nylon. I mean, maybe they just run a lot of specials on the Deca. We'll go with that. Sierra Rick says the Buck 110 was about the only locking folder back in the day. Well, I mean, they were kind of known for making the folding hunting knife, right? That's kind of their biggest claim to fame. That followed closely by their relationship with Paul Boss with the Paul Boss heat treat. And of course, they moved from San Diego. When they moved from San Diego to Idaho, the city of San Diego lost a ton of money. It was this whole thing. I looked it up. Ed B says Roll just posted in the knife drop a custom 110 with MagnaCut 227. All right. We're gonna go back over here. Normally I don't do these in the live stream, but screw it, why not? Let's do this. Knife drops and deals. This is one of the forums that's available in the Only Spartans Discord. Customizable 110 227. Okay. Yeah. So you can, let's see, finger groove rivets, bolster rivets, brass bolster, brush nickel handle, water buffalo horn accessory, leather sheath, black inlay rivets, brass blade, MagnaCut for 227. I mean, that's more expensive. I'll be honest with you, I'd rather have the July Buck of the month with the camo carbon fiber. But that is something that Buck does, is they allow you to, basically customize your knife. And it's not just the Buck 110s that they do that for either. So that's cool. They also do so I'll say this, another tidbit. I took it at face value when a well-known knife maker said that almost every single hollow grind out there is done by hand because it's really hard to machine a hollow grind. And so when I was talking with the guy from Buck on the phone, I said, given all of the Buck, given all the 110s that you guys sell, that's a lot of hollow grinds to do by hand. And he said, "Oh, we don't do it by hand." He says, "We machine our hollow grinds." And that's one of the ways that we can guarantee that the blade is going to be perfectly milled on that primary bevel. And it blew me away because I could have, a well-known knife maker that shall go unnamed told me that most hollow grinds are done by hand. And that's why you don't see a lot of them on production knives, because it's an extra cost to do a hollow grind. But apparently that's not true. It's not true. That's not true. They can be machine milled in. Anyways, I'm excited to try out the Buck of the Month. I really am. Greg Vince says, not for nothing, the regular old Buck 110 for $65 is made in the USA with the same Paul Boss heat treat. That's pretty impressive, especially since the 110 I bought. The comment cut off, but he says, especially since the 110 I bought in the 80s was only about $40. Yeah, is it inflation proof? Oh man, it might be. It might be. Salvo Zen, what's up? He says the $166 Deca becomes $133 at checkout. $123 plus $10 for shipping. Free shipping kicks in at $149 at Freedom. Look, if you want to hogue Deca, just do this. Go to White Mountain Knives. Go to Deca. You know what? And then you can go here and pick out one, you know, with, let's say, oh, wow. Maybe you can't. Maybe they're all sold out on the polymer versions. No way. In stock. Wow. Wow. Look, there's an open box carbon fiber Deca for $285. Okay, well, I was going to say, just go here, buy a polymer one, and throw in a content creator discount code. That's what I did. For 10% off. You know, you take $14 off of 130, you know, 140. You're left with what, 126? Apparently everyone else had the same idea. Now they're sold out. Ron Dobbins says, I don't really like a big knife, so you think I should get the compadre? I've never experienced a Kunwu compadre. Never experienced one. All right. All right, guys. So hold the phone. Let me check something real quick. Are they sold out? I'm looking right now. Compadre. Kunwu compadre. Why is it taking forever? Yeah. So on Kunwu's website, they're sold out. Are they on DLT? Hey, they are. Well, they are on. Okay, so check this out. They are on White Mountain Knives. When I say they are, I mean they are available on White Mountain Knives. $279. Do they work with the content creator discount code? I'm guessing probably. Because that would mean that you could take basically $28 off of a $280 knife. So let's see. RSB 10 is mine. Everyone's got one. It doesn't matter which one you use. Oh no!
Epic fail.
Damn it. The coupon code does not work. It does not work on the Kunwus, apparently. That's too bad. Red Black, what's up? He says Deca Bel Air still cheaper in carbon fiber version, but thanks Buck is classic for good reasons. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Let's do this. Kershaw Bel Air in carbon fiber. Let's do this. Kershaw Bel Air carbon fiber. All right. No, it is not cheaper. $260. So close. Still a very good value. Very good value. And you could make the argument that it is more modern because it uses a crossbar style lock instead of a back lock. Still uses a cryo-treated MagnaCut. At least I think they're doing a cryo treat on their MagnaCut over at Kershaw. Should probably confirm that. 62 to 64. I wonder, is Buck doing Kershaw's heat treat? Buck told me they say we do a lot of our competitors' heat treats. So is the price better? No. It's close. It's $35 more expensive. Let's see. Unless, of course, retailers are selling it for less, which is possible. Oh, retailers are selling it for less. $209. Fair enough. Fair enough. So on that one, it's really going to depend on where you get it. If you want a Kershaw, Bel Air, and MagnaCut and carbon fiber, don't buy it from Kershaw. What are these manufacturers like? What are they thinking? They're like, you know what? We're going to let these retailers undercut us. That's a good way to go. It's a good way to go. 209. Okay, that's fair. Fair. Well played. It is better. Top Dog says, I'm going for the July Buck 110. Hey, there we go. There we go. The solidarity. He says 194.95 at White Mountain Knives. Ooh. Let's see. Because I'm curious. Is that with the discount? Did they let you use the discount? Kershaw Bel Air. This was on my list. So something you have to understand is that this knife was on my list. I very nearly bought this knife, but instead I got the Hogue Deca because I was doing a video on the... Oh, can't show it. I was doing a video for the scales. That's the only thing that kept me from getting this one. Kershaw Bel Air, 194. Okay, so let's see. If we add this, we go here. Is it going to let us use the discount code? Okay, so RSB10, does it work? Come on, do it for the people. For the people, 175. 175, people. 175. Look at that. You can use the discount code on a Kershaw, a USA-made Kershaw, but not on a Kunwu? Freaking Kunwu would come in here. Kunwu would come in here and be like, you know what? We're going to have a map agreement. Who do you think you are? You know what? I don't know if Kershaw also if Kershaw very well might have a map agreement. That's a manufacturer advertised pricing agreement. That's how they keep the competition from outpricing each other or underpricing each other, so that no matter where you go, it's all the same. It's supposed to level the playing field and keep the value of the knives where they are. So I understand it. So the question I have is does Kershaw have a map agreement, or does White Mountain Knives just ignore it? Top Dog says manufacturers do that to protect retailers. There's a lot to it. I've talked to companies about why they have it, and a lot of times it on one hand it does protect retailers. So it protects retailers from, underpricing each other and literally killing their competition. Because bigger retailers could do that. They could take the financial hit and say, you know what, we're going to write this off at the end of the year in taxes, and we're just going to underprice our competition so hard that it affects their business. That's just it's savagery in business form, but it does happen. But also it keeps the value of the knife higher, because think about it like this. Let's say you're Blade HQ, right? And you've got, what's another big one? Let's say you've got DLT, and you both have the same knife, right? The new knife release, everyone's excited. And DLT says, you know what, Blade HQ, screw you. We're going to sell this at a 45% discount because we can afford to take that hit. And we know that you can't. People are going to buy all of those knives from DLT. And then what happens? Well, you've got people wondering, why does this very same knife cost more over here? I'm just going to do my shopping at DLT now. So that's why map agreements exist. But also think about it like this. The next time that knife manufacturer releases a knife, or they make a second batch of that knife, all of a sudden, everyone in the industry, the whole market is expecting it at that lower price, because a lot of times what will happen is those retailers will often, like, they'll compete and they'll be like, oh, well, they're selling it for this. We'll price match. We'll sell it for this also. What happens when enough retailers do that? It drops the value of the product. So it doesn't just protect the retailers. It also protects the product. Top Dog says, White Mountain Knives is a boss, maybe just ignoring it. They have a few on there where they were. Like, for example, I know for a fact Rick Hinderer Knives have a map agreement, and I also know for a fact that you can use the discount code on Rick Hinderer Knives on this website. Ron says, Roll, what do you think I should get, a frame lock or the compression lock? I mean, I would base it off of the rest of the knife, but if we're talking about which one I would rather have in general, I'd rather have a compression lock. Lone Star says, carried the Marauder serrated yesterday, but only 13. Here we are talking about the weight of a buck 110, and Lone Star's like, yeah, this is 13 ounces. You guys are killing me. Killing me, Smalls. Craig says, my Cold Steel Sandmite Trailmaster is only 18 ounces. Well, I mean, I guess if it's only 18 ounces. Yeah, $175. $175 is crazy. That is crazy. All right, what else is due? Let's do this. DLT, because I really like the way they set up their upcoming drops. Ooh, dropping in 3 days. They've got a Vero drop coming. That's nice. The Vero Engineering Nova Mini. Stonewashed titanium. M390. For those of you who haven't canceled M390 yet. Looks good. I mean, it is a mini. And here's the thing. A lot of people, it's a mini that's 7.5 inches though. Ooh, the Lux, another mini, 3.3 inches. A lot of people are really tired of the mini knives or the small knives or the sub 7.5 inch knives. This one's 7.25. I don't necessarily have an issue. I do really like what Vero did with this pocket clip because it's kind of, it's a milled clip. Like, look at this. It's a milled clip, but it looks like it follows the design lines of a bent clip. That's kind of cool. I like the deployment window. You know what that reminds me of is the Petrified Fish Victor, because the Victor is set up the same way where it's got a clean aesthetic on the show side, but on the clip side it has that deployment window. That's the same way that the Petrified Fish Victor has it. That's cool. But it is, of course, $340. Made by Riot. Vero's doing some good work out there though. I've reviewed a few Veros. Haven't bought any yet though. New benchmade. Not my thing. This one, is this a new design? The benchmade Loden. $330. Aluminum and M390. 330. Guys, I'm just going to tell you right now, save yourself $105 and just go buy the buck of the month. Oh, man. I'm sorry, Benchmade fans. I know you guys are like, I wish you would just stop bagging on my favorite brand. Ron Dobbins says, I'm going to go with the compadre and a frame lock. All right. There you go, man. Paul says, the damn power went out long enough for me to have to reset my alarm clock. Now I need a 9V. 9V? What? Lone Star says, prices are strange sometimes. Bought a Cold Steel Archangel Balisong re-release for $170. Now it's $300 everywhere. Demand will do that. The popularity of the Deca exploded, but I still think that the Deca is one of the best values, period. I will say this. The regular Deca polymer handle scales are junk. Here's a set right here. This is post-filming, by the way. So the polymer Deca handle scales are junk. Now, that isn't to say that if you go with the cheap versions of every knife company, for example, Spyderco. Spyderco on their lightweight knives uses they use an FRN material like this. You know what I can't do with the FRN? I can't break it. I can't break it. But the polymer handle scale material on the Hogue Decas, straight trash. Straight trash. I wish they approached their polymer handle scales like they approached their heat treat. 9-volt battery. Okay. That's like 9V. I haven't heard of that steel. What kind of steel is that? Now I need a 9-volt. Got it. Got it. It's late. It's late. Leave me alone, Paul. Or don't. It's okay. All my friends give me a hard time. Jim says go buy a TR3 for $260. Ooh. ProTech TR3 Integrity or just the regular TR3? Integrity. The one that I want is the lizard scale or the lizard. It's the one with the like the reptile scales. Not that one. That's the Relic. Although the Relic is pretty cool too. $190. You can get this ProTech TR3 automatic for $190. That's a good deal. It's aluminum and 154 cm. I'm just trying to find the reptile. TR3 reptile. I think it's called a reptile. Yeah. Of course these are sold out. Yeah, but it's this guy. I really love that handle scale pattern. I would not mind getting a TR3 Integrity, but I'm going to be picky. I want those handle scales specifically. This setup right here is on my list, but I know I'm not the only person with that specification. That's why they're sold out. S35 VN 255. 255 for this guy. And S35. I'm not mad at that. I feel like ProTech has earned that. They've earned that. Lone Star says the Hogue polymers were made to go straight to custom scales like Spyderco clips. Yeah, that's why I've got new content coming out soon. I've been teasing it the whole live stream. It's definitely, the polymer handle skills suck. If anyone has any questions, if you plan on owning and using the knife in its stock format on a Hogue Deca, do not buy the polymer handle skills. Just get a G10 one, pay the 10 to 15 bucks, whatever. Do not buy the polymer one if you want a knife that's going to stand the test of time, because these polymer handle skills, they suck. Love what Hogue did with their blades. Love what they did with the rest of the knife. But the handle scales, the polymer handle scales are garbage. Craig Vincent says, I always liked the Hogue Exemplar more than the Deca. I love the Hogue RSK. Hogue Exemplar. I don't feel like I'm super familiar with that one. It's a pivot lock knife that's been discontinued. Why are they calling it the pivot lock? That is obviously a crossbar lock. I'm confused. I am confused. Why do they call that a pivot lock? Hogue Heckler and Koch Exemplar. Oh, you can still buy it. 170. I just don't know why they call that a pivot lock. That doesn't make any sense. Is that, I mean, because now they call their crossbar style lock the Able lock. Is that just what they originally called their crossbar lock? Was the pivot lock? Top Dog says, new content coming soon. Yes. So I have new content coming soon. The content that I'm working on right now is for the Hogue Deca. And it's what I consider to be the best available option for handle scale replacements for the Hogue Deca, which is why I felt A-OK destroying the regular polymer handle scales. And, you know, for the record, I tried not to spare Spyderco either. I actually did try to break these. And I'm not saying a stronger man couldn't do it. I'm just saying that I can't do it. So if a weakling like myself, who can't even break a set of Spyderco scales, can easily demolish a set of the Deca polymer scales, that should be an indicator, right? Right? Jim says, my Deca came with G-Mascus. Is really good. Yeah, no, I'm sure that the aluminum and the G-Mascus and the G10 and the carbon fiber versions are all very good. I'm sure of it. If you get a polymer Deca, please expect to replace the scales. Do yourself a favor. Sierra Rick says, Rolls, great live tonight. You're keeping it going longer than usual, right? Guys, I'm trying, man. I am trying. You guys ask for it. I try to keep the energy up. I try to keep it going. I know for some people, they have to drop off, and we're probably going to drop off here soon as well. So for whatever it's worth, you guys, I appreciate you guys staying as long as you have, because I don't normally go this long. I've done a few 2-hour live streams, and I have an idea. I'm just gonna throw this out there for everyone who's still here. Hey, we still have 53 people here. What the heck? So my idea is this. I want to do a hashtag for pocket checks, so people who are not part of the Only Spartans Discord can still have a chance at having their pocket check featured on the live stream. And the way that I would do it is that on Instagram, so you would have to have Instagram, but Instagram is free, right? Everyone has access to it, right? You would post a picture of your pocket check throughout the week or on that day. That would probably be better. And then I would pick one or two from the Instagram community that use the hashtag to feature on the live stream. So that's the idea. I want to get more people involved in the community. I think that that's a good way to do it, but that's just the idea I've been working with. Would I show every pocket check with that hashtag? Probably not. Would I show a select few to get people involved? Yeah. Jay Korskin with the $2 soup. Sorry I'm late. I saw a rock. Oh man. You guys are killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. Says Hogue makes excellent G10 gun grips. Yeah, that's what they're most well known for, right? They started off doing gun grips, and that's kind of their main business. And then they got into knives. At least I think that's how it went. Jay Korskin said, did Rolls miss my super chat again? Almost. Thanks for the $2 Superman. I appreciate it. Ed B says, when are we getting the OnlyFans hats? I decided not to do it. Because when I put the idea out there, at least half the people that voted didn't want them. At least half the people said, no, we don't want the the spoof Only Spartans hats. So that's fine. So we aren't going to do the Only Spartans hats, at least not like that. I might do some I Like Rocks merch though. I've had a few people ask for that. Experience Precision, what's up, man? Good to see you. He says 170 for the exemplar is nonsense. I'll take 3. Oh man. 154 cm G10 Axis crossbar lock. Why do they call it the pivot lock? That's gonna bother the crap out of me. Says, I'm pretty sure when I bought my Deca, there were really no other scale options. I was impatient and dumped it. Today, there's no reason to put up with the polymer. I mean, if you are planning on replacing the scales, that would be a reason. And I'm going to offer a pretty convincing reason. A pretty convincing reason when this video comes out. It's like 70% there, guys. I'm almost done with it, I promise. I'll have it within the next few days. But it is actually a pretty good reason to get a polymer Deca, is if you are planning on replacing the scales. The problem is there just hasn't been a whole lot of options out there up until now. All right, guys. All right. Well, I know some of you guys in the late night crowd are just starting to get in now. And so I'm going to have to apologize because we tried to make it as long as we could tonight for those of you who have been asking for longer live streams. Usually they're about an hour and 15 to an hour and a half. And tonight we went like an hour and 50 minutes, almost at the 2-hour mark. That's crazy. And shout out to Top Dog for staying the whole time. All my East Coast folks staying the whole time. Damn. Thank you guys for all the support. I know the channel has not been putting out content at the regular pace that I was before the move. I know. We are working on getting back to that. There is some adjusting that has to happen, some things in my regular life that is making that difficult to really improve on my content schedule. So know that I am working on it. I'm still working very hard to get at least 2 episodes out, plus 2 live streams every single week. I know that I care about that content being quality. So that's probably why I'm not uploading every single day like some channels, or 3 to 4 times a week like I was before the move. So understand, we are working on getting back to that. Right now, the content is just slower for the time being. I'm not going anywhere. The channel is here to stay. The next live stream will be Wednesday, 8 p.m. I had to think about it for a sec. Wednesday, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is 10 p.m. Eastern, which is 9 p.m. Central, which is 7 p.m. Pacific. For those of you in the Only Spartans Discord, I'll see you soon. For everybody else, have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you later.